Hey y'all, it's Renessa here with R.Designs. I am going to be setting up my 2023 bullet journal. I've kind of already gotten a little bit of a head start, but I want to share this with you guys. I know these are always fun for me to watch, so I figured why not share my setup? I will be taking a lot of inspiration from JashiiCorrin here on YouTube, as well as some others, and I will link their channels down below, as well as all the supplies that I've used today. So let's just get into it. Okay, so getting right into it, we are starting out with the key. This really isn't for my reference anymore. I pretty much know what works for me, but I just like to have it in here, and there was already a page dedicated to it, so I thought I'd decorate it. But if you've been using a bullet journal for any period of time, I feel like you kind of know what your system is. But I guess it's good for people. Hopefully nobody's ever looking at this later on in life, but if anybody is, um, they would know what my symbols mean. So I'm just putting in a place for my color code. That's usually for like my events and things like that. That's about all I color code in this journal. And then one page for the index. We're going to see how that goes. I typically do only use about 1 to 2 pages for an index, so I'm hoping to get a full year in this. Maybe I can use the 2 columns and get more use out of that. But I'm just filling in this font. I found this font online. I forget what it's called, but I tried to recreate it as best I could. I'm not very good at sketching fonts, so when I fill it in, it looks a little better. And then onto the future log. I went really simple with this. As you can see, I have already pasted in some old-timey hymn paper. My dad gave me an old hymn book that was pretty much falling apart, and so I've kind of already placed those down just for sake of time. But I only really use the future log for like birthdays, and I really don't use it to track my events that much, just more like record events, because I use a Google Calendar with my family, so this is just more for reference. But I'm putting in the columns for each of the 12 months, and then I will eventually, they're not in the mail yet, but I will eventually have stickers for the months themselves. And then here we are doing my household chore list. I'm doing a different format this year. I noticed JashiiCorrin had like each of the weeks written out, and then she would mark like with a marker which week she actually got the task done. So I feel like that might be a little better for me as well. I was just tracking when I did the monthly tasks, not the weekly tasks. So we'll see. I tried to put each of the weekly tasks in my weeklies, my weekly to-do list, but I want to see if this works better for me. So I'm just filling in the headers, and then I will fill in the weeks off camera, as you can see. That's my cell phone. Okay, and then on to my medical tracker. So this is mainly for like I'm tracking what appointments that I scheduled and then which ones that I actually made, as well as notes that the doctor gives me. One of my goals this year is really to take charge of my mental and physical health. So mental being first, physical health being second. So I don't necessarily want to have like a goal weight or a goal that might be something that changes because my weight is up and down with PCOS. So here I'm just tracking when I have periods because I rarely have them, and medical notes in my current medications, which I'm really not on any, thankfully. I had back surgery, so I'm no longer on pain medication, yay! But moving right along to my 30 before 30. So I am turning 30 this year, 2023, and so I thought this would be a fun list to put on. It's only giving me 6 months to do all of these things, but I really want to do all of these things. So I thought if I gave myself a challenge and these are all things that I really want to do, hopefully I will get most of them done. So there's things like go kayaking and a road trip and just things. And I love number 30, which is be unapologetically me. This next spread is my level 10 life. And I'm only doing this so I have a reference for each year. So I don't really like rating myself in these categories because I do rate myself really low in them all. But it's good to have a reference on how you feel like you're making progress. So those are my action goals for each of my areas. And then this spread, I won't actually fill in on camera. These are biblical or spiritual promises. I do use this journal for my Bible reading tracker and prayers and things like that as well. So these are promises made throughout the year that I feel like I need to keep track of. So I'm literally just putting a heading down, and as you can see, I love how this turned out with the hymn page with the song standing on the promises. So these are just things that I want to record, Bible verses, prayers, things like that that are promises to hold on to throughout the year. So I'm just erasing my pencil lines, and then we're moving on to the next spread, which is my wish list for the year and 2023 key moments. So I thought this was a really fun spread idea. I like to keep up with current events, but I don't really have a way of recording them, so I thought this spread would be interesting for like world events, current events, things going on in big events, things going on in my life, just kind of a place to record those down. So I went in with my number stencil here. I think I got this on Amazon. Pretty sure I did. And then I wanted them to be a little bit more bold, so I decided to fill those in. And I like this font. So anyways, we are just making a simple tracker here for each of the months. And then this side is my big bold header. So I actually filled all that in, and I was like, I bet this is going to bleed through. And it did not. This paper is holding up so well, and I love it. It does ghost a little bit, but that doesn't bother me because once you fill in the next page, you really can't tell that much. So this is the Wonderland 222 notebook, and the paper is Tomoe River paper. So I really, really love it. I love the crinkly sound. And so this spread is a plan for the next journal. So I don't usually do this, but I do it at the end of my journals, and I thought it would really be helpful to have it at the beginning because I actually have ideas all year long that I want to do, and I just forget to implement them because I don't have a place to write them down. So I thought if I have one place for ideas and then maybe some places for layout ideas, then I could put that here. And this is another spread inspired by JashiiCorrin. A lot of these are inspired by her. She really has great content. So this is a mental health spread. These boxes are for if something is going wrong, like in my head, I can kind of refer to this list and counteract that with things that help reframe my thinking. So our thoughts control our feelings, control our behavior. So I'm trying to change that in this coming year with my mental health. And then this spread is just things that I want to look at that I know it'll remind me I can and can't control. As well as a reference page for days that I know are like my ideal day that typically make me feel good. So things that I can do, like being productive, getting up early, those things tend to help bode well on my mental health. So that's just kind of a reference list. And then this is the last spread, again, inspired by JashiiCorrin, but this is a then and now spread. So I kind of want to record all of these things at the start of January this year, and then fill this rest of this in on December 31st next year, and kind of see how things have changed. So what goal am I thinking of? How much is in my savings? My favorite food? The song on repeat is definitely going to change because I change songs daily. But it's kind of neat to have a reference, and I really liked this idea. So thank you, JashiiCorrin. I'm using a lot of her inspiration in this book. But that is it, guys. This is the final flip through. These photos I will fill out throughout the year, my cover page, my key, and my index. I hope you guys really enjoyed watching this setup, and I hope you got some inspiration as well. Just all of this was really simple to do. You just paste down some vintage paper and use your own cursive font. It's really simple. So I hope that gives you some encouragement. The letter to myself I'm not going to do yet. I'm just going to paste in that whenever I fill it in, probably on the last week of December. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for hanging out with me. And I will see you on my January 2023 setup, which should be coming pretty soon. I'm waiting for some stickers to come in that I ordered from Sterling Ink. So I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.